Howdy, folks. Welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, and I've got part 3 of a 3-parter right here. It's a George Jones documentary on the 1995 Bradley Barnes sessions. And I've done the first 2, and this is all a courtesy of a gift from G-Dubs, George Woodruff. So, George, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for this gift and education, insight into the songwriting, the collaborative process, the production process, all this stuff. But I mean, Keith Richards of the Stones was part of this. Vince Gill was part of it. Tammy Wynette was part of it. Alan Jackson was part of it. Ricky Skaggs was part of it. Marty Stewart. I don't know who we're going to find out else was part of this thing, but we're going to find out now. And I got George gave me the link, or I got the link from the George Jones Archives channel. So that link is down below, and you could go check out their channel and see what they've got. But G-Dubs is George Jones's worldwide #1 fan, so I have to recognize that. All right, guys, here we go. Here's part 3.
My pappy kept a cooking. Lightning.
The easy way out would have been just pick every major superstar that's on the chart. Just go to the Billboard and get the first 10 artists and say, let's let these people sing with George Jones because they would all do it. But in order to recreate some of these classic hits, we specifically started thinking about we should cross all genres of music, some pop, rock and roll stars and country stars. And that's how it came up. And also the band had to be sort of a celebrity band also.
I never thought I'd see George Jones and one of the Rolling Stones in here at the same time. But I have to say this, Brian Hearn assembled a fantastic cast of people. I don't know where he must know everybody in the world, you know.
A lot of the musicians I chose because they were producers themselves and could perform with the producer's sense of economy and selflessness, and therefore they could focus on George rather than on how good they themselves were doing. And that of course worked great with Ricky Skaggs and Marty Stewart, who were accomplished, and Vince Gill, accomplished artists and know their way around the studio. And Leon Russell was very special. It was great having him there. And Mac McAnally is a producer as well as a great musician. And John Jennings was there, and he produces Mary Chapin Carpenter. So these people come with a sense of what I was trying to accomplish and how to stay out of my way and how to come in when they knew intuitively when I needed something from them.
Well, if I were going to make a record, I'd love having Leon Russell on the piano and Vince Gill and Ricky Skaggs, Richard Bennett, Harry Stinson, people like that. John Huey on the steel and playing around me. I think it makes for a pretty good country band.
But with a band like that, you have got James Burton out there, you know what I mean? Yeah, you've enough guitar players out there.
I was going to ask you, how do you like this band?
I could live with it. How are we going to take it on the road, though? Emmy Lou on guitar, what are you kidding? You know what I mean? Look who's around, Leon. No.
But it was really fun for me because I sort of relived some of the good old days, you know, when you see all the nice people.
Well, Mark Knopfler, I knew that he was a fan of country music and that he comes through Nashville, not often, but frequently. And Tony Brown and I put together a list of songs that were necessary to make the record work, and one of them was
Dire
White Lightning.
Straits.
And it had been recorded many times by many people, and I think 3 times by George. And in order to record it again in a meaningful way, I felt it needed a whole new direction. And there are some artists who give a song a new direction just by being there in the room. And I thought if I brought Mark Knopfler in, he could Knopflerize it, and he did.
He sent me a letter, a very nice letter asking for songs a while back, and I was a shock then, and I've still got that. So, no, it's a tremendous thrill, of course, and George is is well, I mean, I hadn't described the other day as the Elvis Presley of country music, and I think it's probably pretty accurate. An absolute giant in his field, and I mean, I play his music at home all the time.
The important thing was his feel, the rhythm tracks. The musicians had something fresh to relate to. And I wanted to distract them from their memories of all the previous recordings of White Lightning. And if I had not been successful with that, it wouldn't have been on the record.
I took a little sip the night away I knew as my eyes bugged out and my face turned blue. Lightning started flashing, thunder started clashing. Ooh, White Lightning.
This is really well produced, this documentary.
Well, the G-Man came and the revenues too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking right above him.
Mark laughs here.
Ooh, White Lightning.
They enjoyed each other. It was a good session. Here's a reminiscent of the old records of it.
Well, the city slicker came and he said, I'm tough. I think I want to taste that powerful stuff. He took one slug and drank it on down. I heard him a moaning as he hit the ground. Mighty, mighty please.
They were having a good time. Mark played some great electric on this.
Well, the G-Man came and the revenues too, searching for a place where he made his brew. They were looking right above him, a baby devil cooking. Ooh, White Lightning.
There's a guitar lick from Batman there.
Terrible stuff. Good.
If I have to strum something using a pick, I will. If I can get away with using my fingers,
That's
I
a
will.
Knopfler guitar.
I'll do anything that makes the song work, and that's what you should do. It's not a question of imposing your style on everything.
He was a nice guy and awful quiet, you know, and he was hard to get to know. So when I didn't get a chance to talk to him too much. Every time I'd say something, I couldn't hardly hear him. And then I said, well, maybe I better just leave him alone because I don't want to act like I'm plumb deaf, you know.
That thing that we just did, we just done 2 songs, and we did, I think, 2 takes or something, or 1 take on that and 1 take on White Lightning. That was it.
Here's Mark's rhythm guitar track that I think made this song work. Roland Donovan. That's Mark.
Wow.
Ooh, White Lightning.
That's your record right there.
I'll tell you, Dolly and Emmylou, when they all do these, that 3-part
I didn't realize Mark
harmony,
Knopfler was
just-
quiet.
I was raised up on harmony. In my
He
house,
has fun on stage.
My sister and I, Doris, she's deceased now, but we started off doing the singing. My dad made us get up out of bed some weekends, you know, when he was feeling extra good, and would get us to sing. You know, we had no instruments, but she would always do the lead and make me sing the high tenor. And of course, the only music we ever heard was in church, or else was Grand Ole Opry on Saturday night on the radio. So we did this a lot, the harmony, and then we just I quit doing it a lot of that when I started recording solo. But then we got into duets, you know, with different ladies, you know, along the way, and kind of got some of that harmony coming back again. And then all of a sudden you got groups, you got this and you got that, and like the Statlers and all of that. And but Dolly and Emmylou and Teresa Yearwood, you know, was got in on this one. She was not supposed to have been the third party, but I'm glad she was.
Choosing a song for Tricia Yearwood was initially difficult for me. I wanted to do something unorthodox because I had trouble hearing a song with her and George singing together in my head. So I said, well, I can't solve this problem thinking straight ahead. I'm going to look for something unorthodox for them to do that was on my list of necessary songs to record. And I came up with a brainstorm, which I thought was a brainstorm at the time, which was to have her sing Bartender Blues.
I've always wanted to sing Bartender's Blues with George, because when I first met George Jones, we were on the same record label, and I got asked to come out and sing at the opening of his shop on Music Row. And so I went down there, and Bartender Blues was one of the only songs that I knew all the words to, and I thought I wouldn't mess up. So I kind of winged my way through that song for the first time, and he let me borrow his guitar, and I mean, it was a wonderful experience that I'll never forget. It was before She's in Love with the Boy even had come out as a single, so nobody really knew who I was, but he was really kind to me.
I was proud that Tricia, she sings so good. And I wish she would sing some of that style like she sung on Bartender's Blues. That's what I call a little more so like hard country, but she put some soul and feeling in that you don't hear in a lot of stuff. And that's the type of stuff I like.
I need a honky-tonk angel to hold me tight, to keep me from slipping away. Now the race is on and here comes pride at the backstretch. Heartaches and going to the inside. My tears are holding back. Trying not to fall. Yeah, my heart's out of the running. True love scratch for another sake. The race is on and it looks like a heartache. And the winner loses all.
This is a man that I've idolized since I was a small kid, and somebody that
this is a phenomenal session.
I've sang on my albums, I've sang on his,
G-Dubs,
and have absolutely admired him all my life. So there's no way in the world that I could pass up an opportunity to sing a George Jones song with George Jones.
Travis Tritt always sounded to me like an old soul, a Joe Cocker type old soul wrapped up in a young Southern rocker. So I was really fascinated at what would happen when he got in there and stood next to George Jones and they started to draw each other out.
We tend to push each other. Singing with George Jones makes me sing better. And hopefully I'm able to push George into doing some things and trying some things that he normally wouldn't try to.
Oat cereal, and you'll love it instantly.
Honey bunches of oats.
George seems to try everything.
Run Pretty Today. The
White Lightning, for example, the song.
I thought of George as a spontaneous, beautiful thing. I just had to build him a forest. And if I built him a forest, I knew he would run pretty.
The dirt was clay and was the color of the blood in me. A 12-acre farm on a ridge in South Tennessee.
I like it.
As long as people want me to sing and want to hear me sing and want to come to my shows, I'm going to be out there, and I'm sure they're going to be there. They've always been there.
Hey, I'll never love another, even if I can. Come to me, baby, I'm a one-woman man.
For me, this is a real pleasure. This is an honor. I really feel like I'm getting somewhere now.
George was big around the Skaggs household as growing up as a kid.
He's just a legend. That's what he is. When I heard George Jones singing, I definitely leaned into it a little bit better.
I think singing with George Jones is probably one of the highlights of any country artist's career.
He's as competent and inspired as George at his age. He's wonderful.
If we all sang like we wanted to, we'd all sound like George Jones.
I mean, I heard him described the other day as the Elvis Presley of country music, and I think it's probably pretty accurate.
I don't think George will ever be ready for the rocking chair. No.
There's no rocking chair made that will hold George Jones. I've yet to make that rocking chair.
I like him, Brian Ahern. That was good stuff, George. That was really good stuff. I just love learning, hearing these things, the different perspectives, how things get put together, how they fall apart. They got to bring them back together, and the entire process of going from nothing to a published song. And but this documentary was really well put together. The way they inserted like Brian Ahern's commentary with side stuff from George, the Possum, George Jones, or Ricky Skaggs, or early, in a prior part here, Alan Jackson, but even getting Keith Richards' point of view and perspective on it, or Mark Knopfler, two Brits in their own right, big bands. The Stones obviously bigger than Dire Straits, but they're still very well known, humongous folks, and yet they wanted to be on this track with George Jones. And it just makes sense, because when somebody is a superstar in another field, another genre, in this case music, anybody who's a superstar has a lot to share. They have a lot of confidence. There's a lot of inspiration you could draw from them, perspective you can draw, because excellence is excellence, whether you can relate to it. But even if you talk to a Nobel laureate, Nobel Prize laureate in physics, whether you know physics or not, you're still like, there's something here that's different. I want to at least experience it in conversation. But when it's in the same field of music, all right, different genres. Okay, although the Stones did do some country stuff, I've reacted to some of it. Even Vince Gill said some years ago, I saw an interview. I don't know if Vince Gill was on 60 Minutes or where he was, but I saw an interview, not on the channel. I saw it independently of the channel, where Vince said that he said, not many people know this, but the Rolling Stones are really a country band. And I was like, well, I don't see it personally. But then when I started diving into their lyrics and some of their instrumentation, I said, all right, they're not primarily a country band, but they have country influences in them. So to see Keith Richards here on this, it makes sense. And then Mark Knopfler, that was a special treat, because I like Dire Straits, and he's a phenomenal guitarist in his own right, Mark is, as the front man for Dire Straits. But Trisha Yearwood, seeing Tammy in here, and all the other artists, is just on a day in which there was like a humongous ice storm or days down in Nashville. But Brian Ahern pulled this thing all together, where he just, in his own quiet way, just shared with what went on. So, G-Dubs, thank you for this. I'm grinning. I love learning new things. I'm a very curious man, and in the sense of, I have a great curiosity for things, and then some folks might even describe me as curious in a different light, but I don't know. That's for them to say. All right, folks, you can thank G-Dubs for that one. I'm putting this in the documentary series playlist. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep rocking the country.
But it was really fun for me, because I sort of relived some of the good old days, when you see all the nice people.
Well, Mark?